first round pick. Hey, throw that list away, all right?
Why are we around?
Yo, welcome to the show. It's a Chiefs Blitz night. Breaking down the plays, keeping everything tight. From Mahomes to the defense, we give you the scoop. Real talk, real stats, we the ultimate troop. This ain't no game, it's our passion on display.
The baby
Chiefs
himself.
Blitz podcast, real fans unite. Every touchdown scored, we ignite the night. From tailgate chatter to post-game debate, we love our Chiefs, yes, never too late.
I would even bring MVS back in the middle of the season.
Are you ready for the best Kansas City Chiefs insight? Welcome to the Four Guys in a Bar, sponsored by ChiefsBlitz.com, presented by UnderdogFantasy.com. Here's your Chiefs Blitz host, Nick Athan, with Lou Montagna, Andre Tillman, and Hense Todd.
All righty, welcome back to the next edition of Four Guys in a Bar, presented by ChiefsBlitz.com, produced by BowTie Sports. We are here. It is Wednesday. I'm your host, Nick Athan. I'm not Mango. I'm actually Nick Athan. Mr. Hense Todd, Mr. Lou Montagna.
Yes, sir. Here we go.
What's that?
I will get that fixed with the commercials.
All right, it's all good.
Thank
It's
you,
all
Mango.
good.
He called
Mango filled in for me
Nick
Monday. I was
sweet.
a little bit under the weather. Appreciate you guys.
He called a Nick a sweet mango today.
Sweet mango. I'm in my red.
Trying to call Nick sweet man.
Anti-mango.
Whatever works.
What just said, man. Let's get it. Thank everybody for joining in. Thank Ruben. Thanks, BowTie Sports. I don't know whose that is on there. Who's that? Frank Lucas. No, aka Frank Lucas.
Frank Lucas from across the waters. Across the waters, man.
Shout out. What's up, Robert? How you doing, little cousin? Hey, thank you for joining in, DS. And Kareem, A.K. Joe.
A.K.A. Show one of these days.
Yeah,
definitely.
So what they said.
Before we get started, let's hit our sponsor.
Let's go get right into it. Baseball is back.
That's right. Baseball is back on Underdog Fantasy. Make sure you cash in today. You can play the pick'em game. It's very similar to what you did with the NFL where you're doing the Chiefs stuff. Now it's all about baseball and especially the Royals. You can go higher or lower. It's really simple to use. Their app is amazing. You just choose your entry fee. You decide what you want to play, and you can see the winnings coming if you know what you're doing. So take a swing today and make sure that you sign up for Underdog Fantasy, and they're going to give you a meatball right off the gamut, Bobby Witt Jr. special. So start with a W for your first entry and new customers. Make sure you use the code Chiefs Blitz.
Go ahead and take this, Lou, until I find the intro. Before Nick, go ahead.
Give us Jack Caglianone. Sorry, yes. The big bopper from AAA came up last week, so you can go ahead and go over and under with him, man. I like his game. Number one prospect overall, Roman Anthony, came up for the Red Sox yesterday. Got a big hit. So the young dude's coming across here. So plenty of action out there. You got the NBA Finals. You got the Stanley Cup playoffs. Many opportunities to cash in on Underdog. Scan the QR code. Play your 5 in terms of selections. You get 50 in bonus. Use the promo code Chiefs Blitz. And on top of everything else, our man Nick will give you a trading card.
A signed trading card, yes.
From his collection. I'm sure it'll be a beautiful card, mint condition, just for signing up and playing the game on Underdog. So cash in today. Use the promo code Chiefs Blitz.
There you go. Yes, indeed. I spent my Tuesday sorting out all of my stuff. You should have seen this room. It was just spread out all over the place. So a big sale of my collectibles is going to be coming very soon. If anybody's interested, just reach out.
Gotcha.
Nick is our version of Robert Ursay, right? May he rest in peace. He's got all the collectibles.
Yeah. There's no question about it. Rest in peace, sir. Rest in peace.
Yeah.
So we're getting some of these updates until I find this link.
It's all good. I can be called. No, I'm okay with it. You just call me Mango for the day.
All right.
So even though we're in the heart of, as I mentioned during the promo, the NBA Finals, the Stanley Cup playoffs, it's football season, right? We're still in OTAs. The Chiefs have, we were talking just off air, maybe the latest mini camp. It's not till next week, and they have a few more on the field opportunities this week to get into practice and so forth. I don't know how big of a difference it's going to be outside of the fact that they have to be there next week. I'm sure it's a lot of the same drills, kind of a continuation of what they've been doing. But Nick had also mentioned that the Chiefs get the training camp a little earlier. So anyway, that's kind of where we're at. We'll be talking all things Rashee Rice as well, making his comeback. But I don't know, Coach, which do you have any players from the "That's My Type" list?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. I'm eager to go ahead and tell people my list of DBs that's better than your favorite DBs. I'm just ecstatic right now. I'm just want to play it by ear right now, and when my time comes up, I'm going to deliver.
Yeah, go ahead, deliver it right now, sir.
We should also, I think we talked about last week, is have the ones that are not your type, my type, and not my type, and we can kind of compare and contrast.
Yeah,
just exactly where Coach's type falls in. Maybe we can find a common thread and see kind of how you view the game.
Oh man, from what angle? I think my type of DB again was 6'1", 6'2", long arms. Runs about 4.4, 4.5, something like that. You got to have a high IQ for the game. You know what I'm saying? Got to bring that physicality. Got to bring that boom too. Ain't afraid to get out there and tackle. Ain't afraid to put hands on somebody.
Boom.
Yeah, ain't afraid to talk some smack in your ear. You know what I'm saying? Also have control. You know what I'm saying? I like a physical, smart control DB with height. That's very physical.
Now, who would embody that? I mean, if there was a guy that you could say, this is my type of DB, is there a guy that kind of embodies all those characteristics and qualities?
Definitely.
Current or
current. Well, my favorite DB that my type, what I just discussed, with Jalen Ramsey. I love Jalen Ramsey. I think Jalen Ramsey to me got everything. Like Jacksonville, Jalen Ramsey was the dog.
Jacksonville, yeah.
The Jacksonville, Jalen Ramsey, he had that bark. He had that dog. He was physical. He had a high IQ for the game. He was in your grill. He can play you zone. He can play you off coverage, man. The man will put hands on you. He'll put hands on you. And he'll take you away, right? And my other DB, one of my favorite DBs is Darrelle Revis. Darrelle Revis was the corner, was the DB of this generation. I know a lot of people love Deion Sanders, what he can do, but Darrelle Revis was going to match you foot for foot, hand to hand, and he was quiet too. He was like a quiet assassin out there, man, on that island by himself. And he took out a lot of y'all favorites. And that time, Steve Smith, Ojos, the T.O.s, the Vincent Jacksons, the man was phenomenal. And Steve Smith, he locked up Steve Smith. And I was like, wow, to lock him up. So I'm definitely going to go with Darrelle Revis. I think those two guys are my favorite. Those are my type of cornerbacks that I love to pick up. If I was doing the draft, I want those type of quality guys.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, I think I'd go old school. I mean, Emmett Thomas for the Chiefs, obviously Hall of Famer for the size, the speed, the fact that back then, it was a whole lot different to cover receivers. You had to be very, very physical at the line of scrimmage. And I think that's the one thing that I miss. And it's really hard for me to evaluate some of these guys is, how physical they are at the line of scrimmage. And I know the NFL rules are really messy, changed the game quite a bit. But, I like those tall, lanky, ultra physical line of scrimmage guys that can go out there and upset the route. For a guy of his size, Trent McDuffie does a really good job of jamming receivers at the line of scrimmage too, considering his lack of size. And that's not a pun. He's just not the tallest cornerback out there. He's not that 6'2", 6'1", 6'2", 6'3" cornerback.
We had a full discussion on T-Cuffs last show.
I know, I missed it.
This is kind of where the my type, not my type kind of grew out of. Right?
So here it goes. I'm about to give you a few players that honestly, because we're talking about DB shut down side of the field, right? We're talking about yards given up, right? So for me doing my research, this is all around corners. Right? My boy Garrett Williams from the Arizona Cardinals, man, only gave up 343 yards, right? Now I'm gonna clarify something real quick. Trent McDuffie, his year, he had a great year, but he gave up for almost 500 yards receiving, right?
Okay,
for the whole year, right?
Can we qualify this a bit? Did it also give how many snaps each guy's play?
Yes. So
because I'm assuming that would have a big correlation with how many yards.
Okay, so from the outside, from him playing the outside, he was locked down on the outside of 765 snaps, and the slot he was 149. The slot. This is Trent McDuffie. Right. So if you look at yards given up,
so I guess my thing is the first guy you mentioned. How many snaps did he play in relation to how many yards? Like you say, you can say this guy only gave up this many yards, but if he played like half the snaps of the next guy that gave up twice as many yards, it's not as big a deal. Right?
So Garrett Williams played on the outside 11 times, and he played in the slot 547 times.
So he's more of an inside corner.
More of an inside corner.
So
but remember,
So that gives you a little bit of difference because typically those routes are going to be shorter. It's going to be a lot more quick stuff. Okay.
Absolutely. Right. So what it is I'm going just overall corner. We're talking about the best corner, just the best corner overall. Because if y'all really look at Trent McDuffie is a slot guy, but they test him on the outside this year. You know what I'm saying? So if you look at it like that.
I think it's the other way around. He came in as an outside corner. They put him inside to see how that would go. And it went remarkably well.
Great.
So,
he did phenomenal.
But he is at heart an outside corner. So
so we got another guy, Christian Benford from the Buffalo Bills. He only gave up 279 yards, right?
Man, what?
This is my list. This is my list.
Oh man, we go to this goddamn list and pro football.
Y'all want the smoke? I'm trying to break it down. Break it down, man.
It was already done, sir, and they could put him at number 5. And you talk about
listen. Let me hold on. Wait, Bo, calm down.
You're trying to apply a numbers formula to something that we were just looking for. Your type of guys.
No,
wait. As soon as you start putting numbers to something, it's got to be apples to apples, and that was my point. Is that if you're just saying, okay, this is how many yards, but then you also have to say, okay, on that list, how many snaps, how many yards, how many targets? I mean, if you want to go down the numbers list,
I'm going down the list. I'm going out there too.
But I think what we'd be more interested in is just your type of guys, the top ones that you like. Let's not talk about the specific numbers or maybe somebody else's list.
See, Lou, you're a detailed guy, Lou. And I thought you would love to talk about the team, the player, the targets, and the reception percentage.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You're being very vague. That's a vague statistic that you're giving. You can't really glean much from that. If you're going to go that route, you have to extrapolate to all that stuff because it's not apples to apples.
So basically, I'm gonna simplify this for you. Like I said the first time, when my first statement was, we're talking about yards given up as a DB.
I hear you, but
so I'm gonna go that route, Lou. I'm gonna go that route, Lou. I'm gonna go that route.
Different number of snaps.
But so here's the thing: we talking about top cornerbacks.
So I think the number. So the number that you want to find is yards given up per snap.
See, the thing is, the thing is Pro Football Focus already did
it. That would be an apples to apples comparison because you can go down this list and everybody's going to be asleep by the time you're done. It's just not.
Well, I try to listen. What I'm saying like this. This is what I'm saying.
At least you didn't bring up a Bengals.
All the guys, right? Listen though. All the guys I'm trying to tell y'all the yards they're giving up as a DB. We're talking about top corners over my top corners over Trent McDuffie. So I'm simplifying for y'all. Let y'all know this corner only gave up this amount of yards, and so I'm making it simple. Now, Lou, I can go to detail with you all day.
Well, no. Which ones are slot corners? Which ones are slot?
See, and that's the thing, Nick. I said cornerbacks overall. I didn't say slot.
But the NFL doesn't look at it that way. Neither does PFF.
the way to
What
make
talking about,
Even
bro?
the
This
AP
is
vote,
straight. This is
the AP vote,
facts.
the AP vote is inside corner and outside corner. They're
Oh my
separate.
God, no, it's not what we discussed. They said who's
And
the
that's
top
fine.
cornerback that's
I
better
got
than
you,
Trent McDuffie.
Coach. I got
Well,
you, Coach. But if one guy played 1,000 snaps and the other guy played 500, the total yards given up is going to be slanted to the guy that played more snaps.
So all the guys,
if you were only on the field, say for 3 snaps and no targets, 0 yards. Right. I'm on the field for the entire game and I gave up 60 yards. It really is not a good comparison.
Which you mean, because if you look at, we talking about DBs, Lou, we talking about more snaps. Now, some of these guys play the outside and they take 800 some snaps on the outside. Some take fewer than others. But these are the top guys. But these are the top. That's what I'm saying, Lou. You won't let me talk. That's what I'm trying to tell you. So if you're looking at people's giving up yards, like y'all talking about Trent McDuffie, he gave up 500 yards all season, right? All right. So if you look at right now, Tyreek Woodland from the Seahawks only gave up 343, right? So if you look at Patrick Surtain, he only gave up 391. Derek Stingley gave up 394. Jalen Johnson from the Bears gave up 424, right? Surtain gave up 317. DJ Reed only gave up 431. Quinton Mitchell gave up 483. So these are guys that played that position, gave up less yards.
What about the other dude? Because we just wanted to know. We just wanted to know who was your your top guys. You said you had these top guys that you broke down a list.
I just gave it to you.
Here, so it's that time for Chiefs Blue. We want to hear what our guys want to say. We want to hear what you guys say anymore. So.
We got to get that. Remember, I don't know. I'll date myself here. Do you remember a show called The Gong Show? Nick?
The Gong Show, yeah.
Chuck Barris. There'd be like 3 judges, and the person would come up and do their act. And if they banged on the gong, it would be like, get in the hook. You're out, man.
Yeah, the Gong Show.
All right, folks. It's Wednesday. It is Wednesday. You know why you tuned in. This is for the greatest game on YouTube. It is Chief Who. We are going to stick with classic Chief Who. So this could be a Chief from any era that ever lined up and played football for the Kansas City Chiefs. So a little bit of fun way to get some of the old timers in here. I think Hense got us started on this track last week when we had kind of a throwback week. So figured, let's keep going with it. All right. So I'm going to read a series of concocted clues that will lead you to this particular Chief. And as soon as you have it in the chat, go ahead and give us who you think it is. Those of you that are on the panel, wait till the last clue, and then each of you will get a guess. So let's go. As always, that first clue, Nick's favorite. This Chief, former Chief, was a 3-star recruit, and he was the 30th ranked player at his position coming out of high school. 30th, 3-0. Clue number 2. This ex-Chief at one point was 2-time first-team All-Pro, 2-time second-team All-Pro. Clue number 3. He shares at least 3 significant points with a current Kansas City Chief. Okay, and clue number 4, his cousin was a beast of an NFL player. So, haven't seen too many guesses out there. Guys are a little engaged in some of the previous segments. So we'll give our guys in the chat a little bit of a break. So I'm gonna read through them.
I got to guess.
Just to give it. Oh, that's
Nick
all right.
said, "You got to guess. You got to guess."
hold your water. That's all right. So once again, 3-star recruit. He was the number 30 player nationally ranked at his position coming out of high school. While in the league, he was 2 times first-team All-Pro, 2 times second-team All-Pro. He shares 3 significant points with a current Chief. And number 4, finally, his cousin was a beast of an NFL player. So Kareem's coming in with Debo. It is not Dwayne Bowe. Good guess, though. So the peanut gallery doesn't seem too engaged here. So, Nick, what's your guess?
Dan Slayamua.
Kingsley for Crystal Lee. It is not Kingsley. It's not Dan Saleamua. But again, good guess, Nick. Hence, you got something for us.
No, somebody said Dre got choke slammed from the top ropes. But not that.
Okay, Kareem, the agent of chaos, comes in with
Kareem said Thomas Jones. He said Thomas Jones.
Yes, he would be one of those guys that you would say, was he really on the Chiefs? He was.
He was.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, he was.
Coach, do you have a guess?
I have no guess.
Ruben. Does he have it? Oh, no, it's a former Chief, right?
Ruben's got Kelsey. Well, yeah, I guess. I guess that was kind of a clue as well. So,
okay, yeah. So definitely a former Chief.
That was an extra clue for you. Top rope for Ruben. I don't remember top rope.
I don't know nobody named Top Rope. Who the hell's Top Rope?
Tony Moyaki. So Kareem now has gone into his Chiefs encyclopedia and just listing off random.
You're gonna have to.
So do you guys? So
yeah, give us one more clue.
Hence, Coach, anything?
Yeah, Crystal Lee's begging for the position.
I'm gonna say Greg Wesley.
Greg Wesley, not bad. It is not Greg Wesley.
I'll say Larry Johnson.
Mitchell Schwartz, not him. Larry Johnson. Anybody else with Kareem?
Will Shields.
Peters.
I'm trying to think.
We need a full name, Kareem.
Marcus Peters.
So he had a cousin, he had a cousin, beast mode cousin. So.
Okay, so Kareem had it. It is Marcus Peters.
Oh.
Yes, Marcus Peters. Let's see. The other ones are self-explanatory. Okay, so 3 significant points of the current Chief. He and Cuffs both went to UW, both wear 22, and both all pros. And yes, his cousin is Marshawn Lynch. So there you have it. Kareem got it first. I think Hensley came in afterwards.
Congratulations, Kareem. You dirty
Your
dog.
You. Mine, one Marcus Peters. We're not sure if he's still in the league. Last known, he was playing with the Raiders, I think. But yeah, the classic Chief Who for this week. Good job,
Kareem. You dirty dog. You kicked ass, Peters. Sir. You did it.
Thanks for playing. Thanks for participation.
Yeah, man.
And as always, brought to you by our friends at Underdog on Fantasy Sports. Scan that QR code. Use the promo code Chiefs Blitz.
Slam that damn
Play
QR
your
code.
$5. Get 50 in bonus tries.
That's right.
And
get a signed autographed card from my personal collection. I have probably over 150 of them. So.
Jeez Louise, 150 of them.
All right, so I have to apologize to the coach. I did jump all over you there. It just felt like we were going down a path that wasn't really
pathable.
Yeah, man.
I don't mind you using the numbers, but the numbers have to be consistent. In other words, if you were going to go yards per snap, right? Then that kind of maybe equalizes it a little bit with a minimum number of snaps. Now, some of the top guys you mentioned, they all play a bunch of snaps, so that's cool. But if you get one that's an outlier, that's a really small number, odds are they didn't play as number of snaps as the top guys.
So if you look at the stats, look, Nick just came on the show because they said my type of DB. I said, cool, I'll give you my type of DB, but we were discussing who was the top DB over Trent McDuffie. I was like, well, I got a couple of guys that play a little bit better than Trent McDuffie, even though they put him up there. He's a top 3 guy, but these are my guys that I like so far that's better than Trent McDuffie. So, but again, it's about the yards you're giving up. It's like you said, Lou, your snaps, slot guy or your outside guy. And some of these guys can play both, just like Trent McDuffie can. And also they play a little bit better in coverage than Trent McDuffie can. Like, again, I'm not knocking Trent McDuffie. He's one of the best physical corners in the game. One of the best, like hands down. The man's the dog. But he do give some yards to some guys, man. He has been beat. He has been beat. So, again, like, he's physical, but the guys on my list, a little bit better. They're a little bit better as far as coverage ratio, targets, receptions, and all that.
That's my type. So with that said, let's get into some of these updates with the Kansas City Chiefs. Nick, you gotta unmute yourself, sir. You done mute yourself into a tunnel.
I got you. All right. Thanks to Coach, Assistant Special Teams Coach Andy Hill. Thanks for helping us make our special teams extra special. Coach Hill, congrats on your well-earned retirement. He's been around a long time. Obviously, he helps Dave Taub out quite a bit, and we wish him well in his retirement. He's got some Super Bowl rings to put on the mantle. He's done a great job with Kansas City.
Did they happen to give a corresponding transaction? Like, so here we
go. Yeah. With Andy Hill's retirement, Porter Ellett has moved to assistant special teams coach for Dave Taub. Mark DeLeon, former linebacker coach for the Chiefs, returns to KC and takes over his old role as an assistant running back coach. So we got a linebackers coach coaching the running backs. It's interesting. I like that.
They're all football coaches, Nick.
They are. At the end of the day, you got to be able to coach it. You got to be able to coach every position.
Well, that's the thing is, I think especially as a young coach, I think they want, you want to hit as many positions as possible because then you can get pigeonholed really easy.
That's true.
Yep.
And I think maybe that's what happened. Andy Heck or Taub, when he's just known as a special teams coach, when he probably knows a lot more football than some of these younger guys have forgotten, or he's forgotten more than they know. So,
big year for Andy Heck. Big year for Andy Heck.
So which I want a coach that's willing to be a jack of all trades, build a coach every position, offense and defensive wise.
I think this is what I think more NFL teams should do. I think Lou's correct. Every coach is multifaceted, understanding different positions.
Right.
I would always bring in a former player at that position to be the assistant. So bring in a guy who's played exclusively wide receiver, bring in a guy who's played tight end, and just make them the assistant coaches. I mean, Derek Johnson, was thought to be brought. I think if he didn't want to spend so much time with his family, he would have been an assistant linebackers coach in Kansas City.
Right.
I know Eddie Kennison did it for a while, and you've got other players out there doing it. And I think that is really a good way to bridge any issues with communications, understanding the position in depth. And again, if you're a coach at the NFL level, you've been an assistant coach, a head coach at various places and various positions. You bottom line is football. If you're a linebacker who's going to coach the running backs, well, you know what the linebackers are going to do to the running backs, so you can teach them that. I got no issue with that whatsoever. But I'd like to see them bring in former players.
So basically, what you're saying, guys will come in with a little bit more experience, a little more knowledge of the game. Like, I feel you. It makes sense too. Like, I feel you. I would want somebody that got great experience in that position to coach the young fellow. So I definitely agree with you on that one.
Yeah, so it's guys that have done it at the highest level and so forth. They're going to, kind of command the room. That doesn't necessarily preclude other people from coming in and doing it in different ways because, I mean, even look at like Coach Reed. He comes up. I mean, he's an offensive lineman, came up as an offensive line coach, moved to tight ends. Now he's the quarterback whisperer. He'd be like Brett Favre, all the guys he had in Philly, to, Patrick and Alex and so forth. So anybody that, especially if they're going to specialize on one side of the ball, if they get the opportunity to coach every position, that's invaluable experience because you can you're over the entire operation. You can kind of have your fingers on the pulse and like Coach Reed says, is we're ultimately teachers, and he can coach the coaches because he's kind of been in those positions before. So yeah, everybody's getting, it's just like you go into a new organization in any line of work, right?
Yeah.
You want to kind of master a lot of different things. So eventually, if you're at the top as a head coach, you kind of can relate to all the different coaches, all the different positions and so forth. It doesn't preclude you from just concentrating on one, but I think having that well-rounded ability to hit each room goes a long way.
Yep.
Yeah, I think Ruben said Alex Smith, man. I like if Alex Smith was willing to be on the offensive side of the ball,
Mrs.
I would love
Smith
for him to
won't
be a
allow it.
QB coach. What'd you say?
Mrs. Smith won't allow it.
Is that right? 'Cause Alex Smith is nice, man. I love Alex Smith, man. I think he'll be a great QB coach, man.
So with that said, let's get right into the return of Rashee Rice, the topic, the main topic of the show. So Lou, get ready. Go ahead and hit us with the questions of the day.
Return of the Mac, return of the Rice. Yes, is Rashee the most valuable receiver on the Chiefs roster?
Ooh.
Nick.
Yeah, I think so. I think for what he can bring overall to, the offense, it looks like after the surgery, he's out there running full reps, and it doesn't look like his speed is diminished. His leg's probably a little bit stronger. That type of injury, there's always thought that maybe he's going to lose some speed and some flexibility, but he has worked tirelessly hard in making sure that he's ready. He's ahead of schedule. He's going to probably be full go when it comes to training camp and maybe the mini camp next week in Kansas City. But to me, yeah, I mean, I can see Xavier Worthy, being that guy too. But I think everything last year went through Worthy. I think things are going to go through Rice and Worthy this year. Rice was on pace to have I think we calculated like 13 or 1,400 yards receiving, probably at least 10 touchdowns. He was coming into his own before the injury. So for me, he as we saw last year, when he went down, the wide receiver position struggled at times. And Mahomes really had to sacrifice quite a bit of his body to work with some guys that weren't quite, that still needed some reps in the Hollywood Brown injury. So again, if we're going to look at it, Rice is the one guy I think you can't be without in this offense. He takes this offense to another level. He's proven himself, and he's come back from his injury, and he seems like he's overcome the off the field stuff, which is extremely critical. When you got a young receiver who's had success, a rookie year gets a Super Bowl ring. Without him, they don't win the Super Bowl. They don't even get to the playoffs without him, in my opinion. That's how solid he was when we got to Super Bowl 58 and how strong he was there, or 57. 57? Yeah, 57. Or 50. I don't know. I can't keep track. 58, whatever number it was. And, I think he's the most critical component on offense for Patrick Mahomes, in my opinion.
I'd just say yes, he's the most viable wide receiver that's on the roster right now. As you can see, when he went down, the receiver room kind of struggled. You had Xavier Worthy doing what he was doing, but it was nothing like, because he was on pace to be probably one of the best, on the pace to be one of the best wide receivers in the league. He was unstoppable, unguardable. And when he got injured, you see that the production in the wide receiver room went down. So I just say, yeah, he's got to be the most valuable wide receiver in this room. His size, everybody else in the wide receiver room don't have the size, the length and the speed that he have well put together like that. So yes, but you had to say, Coach.
I definitely agree. The most valuable player, when Mahomes messed him up, when Mahomes felt being clumsy, ran to Rashee Rice, man, knocked him off. You can see the production of the offense, like it went down, like dramatically. But when Rashee Rice out there, he's a mismatch problem all day, man. You put that man inside or on the outside, he's going to get the job done, and he's very shifty. And the Chiefs didn't have that. The Chiefs, it was a struggle. Like it was like as y'all can see, like. I like what Kareem said, Worthy. Kareem, yes, Worthy is a deep threat, but when you got somebody like a Rashee Rice that can go out there, is not afraid to go across the middle, is not afraid to make the big catches. Yes, he was missed tremendously.
Yeah, this is a tough one, because when you say most valuable, I don't know that he necessarily. I think 2 shows ago, I proclaimed Rashee is probably going to be like in the top 5 in terms of wide receiver statistics for this season. If he's healthy the whole year, doesn't get suspended, right. I truly believe that he was really kind of on the cusp of greatness.
Yeah, he was.
And he got hurt. Now, the true test is going to be when he's cleared for contact, because again, a lot of straight line stuff. He is cutting, that's always important. But, once they have the pads on, cleared for contact, and is able to do those things, in that setting, then, you'll feel a lot better about it. So I may go a different way here. And in terms of most valuable, I think it might be X, because if we're going to return to the deep passing game and really putting pressure on defenses and defense being afraid of, say if it was like back in the day, Tyreek, and maybe X can have that same effect on defenses, then he all of a sudden becomes now again, it's splitting hairs. I got you. X may not have the same numbers that Rice does, but in terms of getting back to that kind of down the field, challenging defenses, scaring the hell out of them, I'm going to go with X in this.
And you know what? Real quick, I'm going to piggyback off of Lou real quick. Lou, that's a great point, because if you look at it, the Chiefs didn't really have nobody to stretch the field like X did. X was a guy who can go out there, stretch the field, and open up the lane for Rashee Rice under the middle. So that's a good point, because like I said, with Tyreek Hill left, the offense took a slight decrease. So by Rather coming out there, it opened up so much more for Rashee Rice.
Yeah, speaking of top 5 players, that was the next question. Luke.
Yeah, so you have my answer. So let's go next. Okay, so can Rashee become a top 5 receiver in the National Football League, Nick?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, again, we're still waiting. Everything falls on the suspension. Just update everybody. There's 2 cases against him. One for the traffic violation, and there's a civil suit that's been filed as well. Neither have gone to court in Texas. So if for some reason those things don't happen before the start of the regular season, either one of them, and there is a conviction, a plea deal, or a settlement, it's very likely that Rashee Rice will play the entire 2025 season, and then we'll be having this conversation in 2026, which probably is going to be a good thing for him. He stays out of trouble. He's been out of trouble ever since. Maybe the 4-game suspension is lowered to a 2. Time has passed, kind of similar to what happened. So to answer your question, yes, if he plays the whole season, I think statistically you're going to see him in the top 5 in almost every category.
Exactly.
Yeah, I have to say that as well, because I think he could be the not even top 5. I think he'd be number 1. I feel like the kid can come out here and put up the 4s. Don't you turn your head like that. I feel like the kid can come out and not even be in the top 5. I feel like he can be number 1. Yes, I know everybody going to say, this person, that person. But hey, Rashee Rice putting the 4s on him was on his way to be the top wide receiver in the league. So I have to say, yes, he could be top 5, maybe number 1. Not even maybe. I'm going to say a yes to a number 1 receiver in the NFL. And it'll be a straight fact.
Man, if you don't calm down with that nonsense, man, like Nick stated, if the man play half a game, bro, and remember the Chiefs offense is like this. You're not gonna get those many touches like that. Remember, Rashee Rice is a yak guy. He's a yak guy, first of all, and the Chiefs spread the ball around to multiple receivers. So he's not gonna have that number 1, you know what I'm saying, stack. You know what I'm saying? So for me, is this: could he be one of the best receivers? Yes, one of the best receivers, but a top guy, number 1, definitely no. That's a big no.
Rashee Rice would be number 1 in Cincinnati. Great way to bring it.
Lou already answered his question, so we're gonna go ahead and
whatever. I don't want to repeat myself. That's like 3 shows in a row. I'm talking about Rashee. So.
Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and get into the next question of the day. So I know I said number 1. That's why I worked you up, because I was bringing it into the next one. Go ahead, Lou.
Is Rashee more talented than Justin Jefferson
Hell no.
or Jamar Chase?
I'll take this. I would say yes.
We already know the answer.
I feel like
actually, if I can like tap my fellow members on the panel here, we all secede our time to you, Hensley. Go.
I would say yes. This is the reason why, right? This is the reason why. I know Jamar Chase, and you got Jefferson. I probably look like the crazy man up here, but hey, if you put number 4 out there, you're coming out the second round, man. The kid came out here, with blazing, mind skills. Came out here to playing very well. He took like Nick said, the Chiefs won the Super Bowl without him, and Yes, he's more talented than them. He got more rings than both of them. So I would have to say yes. I think the kid is more talented. Yeah, I feel like when it's all said and done, we will look back and say, yes, we've seen Jefferson. Yes, we've seen Jamar Chase, aka Tuna Can. But hey, Rashee Rice is going to be one that probably be the best wide receiver when it's all said and done out of those three.
Let me put some reality into that statement. First,
I'm just saying,
there's one thing that's an absolute certainty in my mind. When all three of these guys are done playing football, Rashee Rice will have more Super Bowl rings than the other two.
Yeah. Well.
Now, does that make him the best of the three? Listen, I think Jefferson is one of one, and I think Jamar is one of two. I mean, I think if you look at their overall production on the field, if they avoid injuries,
Rice, baby,
they make the plays. I think Rice would be. If we go back to the previous, if we go in the top five, yeah, that would be a pretty good company to be part of. Jefferson, Chase, Rice, in any order you want to look at it. And of course, Hense is going to say number one, but I think he needs a full season away from the injury to really evaluate if he's going to be that guy. Now, here's the bigger question.
You know why I said it, man. You know why I said it.
He's your boy.
Hey,
go ahead, look. And he's gonna, if he has a great season, he's gonna want to get paid, and that's gonna be a huge problem for the Chiefs to pay Rice and Worthy. That's not going to be an easy thing for the Chiefs to pull off, especially if these guys want $30 million a year.
If they're worth that money, that's great. That's a great problem.
It's a great problem to have, but it's a huge problem for Brett Veach. If they don't sign these guys,
odds are they would. If they both reach the potential that the franchise believes they can reach, I think there's 100% chance that both of them don't return. Or that one of them doesn't return, and there's a really good chance that neither of them return. So, it's just a hard thing to start talking about now.
Receivers,
but that's why they keep drafting receivers every year.
So listen, hell nah, bro. Because let's look at the Kansas City Chiefs offense. They don't target one player. Jamar Chase was a player. He was the number one guy in Cincinnati. Justin Jefferson was the number one guy in Minnesota. But I'm saying, he said more talented. You talking about more talented? Hell no. Not a chance. Not a chance.
You see what the kid can look.
Rashee Rice can't take on double teams, bro.
He said
put a safety over the top. He's locked up, bro.
Now you talk about
Jamar Chase is the dog, bro. He's the dog, bro. He's the man, bro. Who can stop Justin Jefferson, bro? Bro, who can stop Justin Jefferson when they hot? Who can stop Jamar Chase?
Hold on,
Crown guy, rookie of the year. Listen, Justin Jefferson broke Randy Moss's record. He broke Randy Moss's record, sir. Randy Moss's rookie record, sir.
Who stopped? Who stopped? You said who stopped both of them? You said who stopped? You said who stopped both of them?
I'm gonna say Specs did it. I'm gonna say Specs did it. Specs had great coverage.
It was one guy that stopped. It was one guy that stopped both of them guys.
That was all Specs. Shout out to Specs, man. Defensive scheme.
Back again.
I haven't seen. Honestly,
scheme, man.
Every time I watch the Chiefs play, I don't think Spags has ever taken a snap.
No, but Spags coaching them. Spags is coaching them. Damn it, Spags is coaching them real well.
But again,
simply, I believe that if you polled all the 32 GMs and these three guys were in a draft, that Rashee would be number 3 on 32 of their cards.
There you go.
Again, that's no slight against Rashee. That's that these are the two best in football, and quite frankly, at some point, they're going to be on an all-time list of best receivers. So again, it's no slight against Rashee, but these two guys are definitely more talented. Does that mean they're going to win more Super Bowls? Absolutely not.
Absolutely
but
not.
In terms of talent and probably production, those two guys would get drafted. Now, you may have some guys take Jefferson over Chase. Some guys take Chase over Jefferson. But I almost can guarantee maybe Veach, just to not piss the kid off, might move him up to number 2. But the other 31 GMs would have it, some form of Chase, Jefferson, and then Rice.
Ruben, you chill, Ruben. Thank you, Lou.
I understand all that. And everybody, the reason I said, he's the most talented, because he's the only one that went up against the menace, the AKA put on the two deuces, and the Kid Rock, Trent McDuffie, in practice, it still did the numbers.
We're talking about practice. We're talking about practice. We're talking about the Chiefs practice that knows this dude. We're talking about Chiefs practice. You basing this numbers off of Chiefs practice?
Mike has got to laugh.
But Chiefs practice?
Like I said, man, nobody else.
Oh my gosh! Right.
Rashee Rice can come out the locker room and say, "Hey guys, look at the diamonds on my hand. Do you guys have it?" No.
He's gonna have more.
Oh my God! We talking about Chiefs Kingdom practice, gentlemen. He said he beat McDuffie in practice.
Hey, Hense.
Practice.
Do you know who else could do that? Do you know who else could do that?
Hardman.
So is he better than those guys? Okay.
Yeah.
Ruben, do you agree, Ruben? Hey, Ruben, do you agree with your boy? He said practice. Chiefs practice.
That's a little different standard.
Oh my gosh, man. Come on, man.
All right, next.
He's got himself 3 rings.
All right, no argument question. Go ahead, Luke.
Oh man, these are. I'm telling you right now,
he's talking out the backside, boy.
All these questions are in the mirror in Hense's bathroom, and he has a picture of Rashee underneath it, and he just repeats it to himself every morning while he's brushing his teeth, and he's looking up at that, looking at okay, Triple Crown, he's better than those guys, he's Hall of Famer, all these rings.
Look at him.
What are we doing?
Look at him.
Lou, I don't know, Lou, man. I don't know, man.
Hey, y'all want me to take the question there? I would say yes.
By all means, yeah.
I would say yes.
I can't wait to hear the answer.
That man said practice.
I think the guy will take last year he was on path to do that. He was on path to take the Triple Crown and some. I look at this kid, man. I've seen that, when they first drafted him, I was like, what the heck? Then I started watching the tape, and then I watched the man in practice of one training camp, and I was like, man, who is this for putting these 4s on people? And then when he came out there and said, hey, I know we had Travis Kelce, but I'm that guy. And he was on that way to be that guy last year. So I feel like this year he's going to say, I know I got all this suspension around me. If he do get suspended, he's still going to come out and take the Triple Crown.
Nick, half his season gone. Half his season's gone. Half his season gone.
Chance if he misses 4 games.
You're going to have 400-some yard games, sir.
This is going to be like a seminal moment in this show's history. But I think I'm going to have to agree with Coach at some points here. Is that just because of the way the ball is spread around, and so I don't think Rashee's going to get nearly enough action to be
that means Travis Kelce's not playing. Nobody playing but Rashee Rice. So
again, not taking anything away from Rashee, but this is evidently these questions have been teed up for Hense to dominate the show. So
Hense been drinking a house party Kool-Aid. He's been drinking a house party Kool-Aid.
I can't wait to see what the next question is.
I'm gonna tell you.
So you said no, Nick. I know Nick ain't said no. Nick always give you a B, maybe an A. So I think Nick gonna say it's possible.
The next question is
if he's not suspended, can he win the Triple Crown? It's gonna be tough.
I thought we was friends, sir.
Man, that's even worse.
Listen, I love the kid. I listen. No one's rooting for him more than I'm with you.
Yeah, man.
But yeah, I mean, Crystal makes a good point. Yeah, they did draft Royals. He's got Royals.
Royals is nice. Royals is nice.
You got a lot of mouths to feed. That's what makes it a little bit difficult. Now, if the Chiefs were, if he was playing for, let's say, a different team, like let's say the Broncos or the Chargers, he's definitely their number 1. No question about it. He's a guy that, if he's the featured guy and he can handle double teams, it'd be just fine. The good news in Kansas City is there are other weapons on this offense, and that's what makes his numbers are going to increase. So that means, there's a possibility he could win the Triple Crown. But he'd have to really stand out and step up and play all 16 or 17 games this year.
Even though he's a tight end, Travis always had the best chance of doing that as a Kansas City Chief.
Yeah,
I don't think anybody else. I mean, Tyreek to some degree, where he got up there in catches a couple years when he was in Kansas City.
Yep.
But in terms of the opportunity and the red zone presence and everything else, and just the fact that Patrick being so locked in with him, he always had the best chance. Again, even though he was a tight end, he came close to those types of statistics. And if you look at the top pass catchers, maybe 10 years, but let's backdate it to like 2 years ago and then going 10 years back from there, he's up there with every wide receiver. So he was probably the one that had that chance if it was going to happen for a Chiefs player. But I appreciate you throwing that in there, Hense. This is your time to shine. So
that's right, man. Ice on the cake, man. That's that house party Kool-Aid, boy.
I think he will. I think
the next one is going to have something to do with bow ties, I bet.
Yeah.
No. Go ahead. This is the next one. Go ahead, Lou.
Was all said and done, will Rashee be considered one of the top receivers in Chiefs history alongside Dwayne?
You forgot Otis Taylor.
I love Debo. Tyreek, of course. He's got to be up there. I mean the Chiefs. I mean, in terms of wide receivers, I mean Otis Taylor was kind of like the first one, but even he never, because of the era that he played in, and even in terms of among his peers, he didn't get nearly the targets some of the best receivers from the 60s.
He still should be in the Hall of Fame
in the AFL. So the Chiefs, it is kind of a small group. I mean, hell, you could throw Stephon Page in there, and 90% of the audience probably hasn't even heard of him. So
I'll be one of them.
But he certainly has the opportunity. Now, again, he's only played one full season, so maybe we pump the brakes a little bit on it. He has a chance if he's held. If he plays 10 years,
so you're telling me there's
City,
a chance.
He's played 24 games in his career,
right? I mean, if he plays 10 years in Kansas City, he's got every opportunity. Yeah. Absolutely, he'll be up there.
He will have more yards and touchdowns than Debo.
Exactly, I agree.
Pretty close to Tyreek.
And again,
but I'm still going to put Otis Taylor number one, no matter what.
The list of quarterbacks that he had to suffer through.
Oh my God!
Just God bless him. God bless him.
It's amazing how Bo was so successful.
I'm just trying to figure out now. Debo, I can see him passing Debo because, like I said, like Debo, him neck and neck. Because Tyreek Hill just had that crazy speed. He just had that speed. It's crazy.
Wow,
that's yard. That's Jack. That boy get that slant. It's a done deal. You dig it? But I can see Rashee Rice going out there like making it very interesting down the stretch in his career.
Way to go, Crystal. That's right. Number 83 in your program.
Yeah, I got a signed mini helmet of him somewhere around here.
I would say, when it's all said and done, I'll say yes. If he does stay around that long, gets it done and stay out of trouble, have a clean slate from here on out, I feel like the kid can come out to be the best wide receiver in Chiefs history.
Yeah.
When it's all said, I know they have.
If he plays through the Patrick Mahomes era, I think so. I think he's got that chance.
Yeah, he would definitely. Yeah, it's a big if.
But she's got too many weapons, though, guys. They got so many hands.
Yeah, but the weapons are going to be thinning out. The weapons are going to be.
They haven't paid a wide receiver in this era. They haven't paid a corner in this era. So it'll be interesting to see who those guys are going to be. I mean,
Royal, Rice, Worthy.
Again, we got a few years to kind of see how Rice's career goes, how X's career goes. But Cuffs right now, again, that's going to be a big ticket.
Once Trace,
and that'll be a litmus test for sure. That agent's going to have to earn his money.
Kareem, what you drinking? Kareem said Worthy is better than Tyreek Hill. He said he's been saying it. Well, not right now. Not right now, sir. You over there. You tipping over there, boy. You tipping over there.
Okay. I'm gonna come to his defense slightly here.
The age of chaos is coming.
Yeah, no. I think Worthy adapted to this offense a lot faster and was extremely productive in year one as a receiver.
Way to go,
Tyreek
John.
really had to kind of grow into it. And so did Worthy to a degree. But, long term, who's going to be better? Tyreek's still, got a lot of statistics. And Worthy, was the savior of the offense basically last season. So that's an interesting conversation to have in 2 or 3 years from now. As a first-round pick, Chiefs will have him for 5 years. So at the end of year 3, let's have that conversation. But I think there's a chance.
And again, you say what you will about Tyreek, but for him to make that transition where if he played wide receiver at all, maybe he did it wherever he was his last stop. Was it West Georgia, whatever?
I don't think he did.
Because because at Oklahoma State, he was a running back, he's a kick returner, whatever. But for him to turn into arguably, in that 4 or 5 year span, the top wide receiver in the NFL, that just doesn't happen.
No,
it just doesn't happen.
He was very unique too. Tyreek Hill was very unique too, man.
And become one of the best or the best in the league.
Yeah, man. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think Tyreek Hill did something that's never been done before. Now, Kareem, you do got a point, Kareem. You're saying wherever he came in, he's an official wide receiver. I get that. Great speed. The young guy's talented, right? But if you look at what Tyreek Hill did for him transition to a special team guy / running back into the man he is today, and then he just took flight, man. Once that route running was in place with that speed, it was over. Like there's nobody that can defend a Tyreek Hill for real. When he's hot, Tyreek Hill's a different beast.
And a lot of times
he's a different guy.
Even though the straight line speed is one thing,
Rashee Rice is way better.
The suddenness that he would close that space between him and the defensive back and then break it off where you got no chance at trying to cover him. He's just one of one. And, you would have wished it would have worked out. Who knows, how this whole thing would have gone. But that was just one dude that was just one of one.
Worthy's going to have to learn how to break tackles more. People don't understand how strong Tyreek Hill was and how low to the ground he was. And a lot of his yards came on busted. He broke through tackles. He used his speed. He had a lot of power, and Worthy doesn't have that quote unquote leg power that I think Tyreek had. Not speed, but I'm just talking about raw power to break through defenders.
Oh, he was sharp, muscular too, man.
Muscular.
Like if you look at for real, everybody compare. Like some people say he's like Debo. Debo is nowhere near like Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill,
Debo is probably about 4 or 5 inches taller.
But like he don't got a separation. He's physical, but Tyreek Hill took that and just ran with it, man. It was over.
Taller. Yeah, Debo's much more of the kind of like the big body wide receiver. Right. He's probably closer to Rice than Debo. I mean,
it makes
that
sense.
Kind of body.
Rice is more built better than all three of them. Tyreek Hill is built like a gremlin. But when it's all said and done, we will all have this all said and done. I think Rashee Rice was having
Hense Todd. We have some more imposters here. Some bots have entered the chat. Hense Todd.
Hey, Crystal Lee got a good point. Andy Reid transformed Tyreek Hill, man. Andy Reid, man, he's the greatest head coach, man. Head coach.
The story with Hill was, when they drafted him, Andy was talking to him in training camp, and he said, "Can you do anything else?" He goes, "Yeah, I can run routes." And that was it. That's what started the whole process of getting him out there. And he started running routes in training camp and in the preseason games, and did all the punt and kick returns, and got his legs speed up, and understood what it was like to play in the NFL. And then they just start throwing the ball more to him, and then they start throwing the ball deep plays, and
that dude,
go back to that pass that Patrick Mahomes made in the exhibition game in Atlanta when he threw the ball 70 yards in the air. Tyreek Hill just ran underneath it like it was nothing.
Guys, Tyreek Hill, like I said, the power he has. We know about Deshaun Jackson from the Eagles. Like he was real fast, but he didn't have that power, that break tackle speed. Like he can stop on a dime, man. It's so much that Tyreek Hill can cover
Yeah.
Like, if you really look at Tyreek Hill, man, you still got to put safety over the top. That's why people put the shell defense for it. Like, going against Kansas City, they use the shell because of Tyreek Hill. They still do that in Miami.
I think Deshaun and X have a lot more in common than those two.
Exactly.
Similar body type and whatever. But again, X showed some things down the stretch where he was going, got some contested catches, was able to shake some tackles.
That bomb in the Super Bowl had 2 guys on him.
It'll be interesting to see what his development is over this off season and going into the year, because I mean, he really has a chance. He really does, because of the fact that he's got these other guys. If Hollywood is right, if Rashee is right, X is going to and Patrick starts launching them again. That could be interesting.
Yeah,
I definitely.
That's key.
There's only one key. If this guy put the fours on him, come out and play well, and come out and bring this type of energy, bring this on the field, I can't wait to see the Triple Crown get taken away from Jamar Chase, a.k.a. Hey, I'm telling you, man, I got this feeling that Rashee Rice is going to come out and dominate the league. Hey, I know Travis Kelce's on his way out the door. This is going to be Patrick Mahomes.
Don't say that. That's not 100% certain.
He's getting old, so it's got to happen. Like, not today.
I wouldn't say it's a done deal. Only if he plays just for the 1 year.
Hey, what happened to Brandon Rice? I thought wasn't Brandon Rice one of your gold jacket guys too? I think Kareem said he's in the XFL. I think he's in the XFL now.
Crushing it in the UFL, baby.
Is he really? I'm not watching.
I don't know. But
he's not. He ain't over there. He's still on the Chargers.
He kind of plays it. I don't know about that one.
Lou got show some love over. That's your gold jacket guy. That boy's about to. He was depressed that draft year, boy.
Rashee Rice is, on top of his game. When he come back, he's training well. He come back from that injury, hey, come back and have the RoboCop legs and be just dominant. I feel like this kid can take it to the next stop. And speaking of Tyreek Hill, yes, Tyreek Hill, but I don't feel like, I think Dante Hall was better than Tyreek Hill. When it's all said and done.
Dante Hall couldn't take a tackle. Dante Hall couldn't take a tackle, man.
I'm just saying, I think Dante Hall.
Shout out to John Lynch, man. Lynch popped that boy. It was over. When he popped that boy, it was done deal for Dante, man.
I just start some stuff with Dre. He gonna get them all worked up again. But again, Rashee Rice is coming back, guys. The return of Rashee Rice. This basically his second year. We gotta say that it's just his second year, because his second year he got hurt. He only played 4 games.
Ruben, this your guy, Ruben. He said Dante Hallsburg and Tyreek Hill. Ruben, this is your guy. Do you stand with him, Ruben? Where do you stand at, Ruben? This your guy. Hell yeah. Oh yeah, he is, man. Dante Hall is better than Tyreek Hill. Hall is my guy. Real talk. But Tyreek Hill is that dude, though. Tyreek Hill, man. I wish he would have stayed with Kansas City. I really do, man.
No, I'm glad he didn't go. I'm glad they traded him.
You think so?
Perfect.
Put him in jail. Perfect,
5
right?
Draft picks. No, it's all good.
Yeah, man.
I do that every day of the week.
So
if they can get 5 draft picks for Rashee Rice, I love you, buddy, but take the 5 draft picks.
They all right. Y'all bought okay. Fresh picks.
Don't you speak that. He said
same thing for Xavier Worthy.
Hey, Nick speaking for the future. He said, if you get 5 more valuable picks for 5 years, man, I'm with that. Save you money.
So, what? Your last, before we close out, your last thought on the return of Rashee Rice?
Healthy.
Listen, I think he's unequivocally the safest weapon outside of Travis Kelce that Patrick Mahomes will have this season. Yeah. He knows what he can do. He's been in the system. He feels like crap for, injuring his own player, injuring his knee, and, he missed the season. They've been working a lot in the off season. Mahomes is kind of taking him under his wing as he did before. And listen, I think he has a chance to be very special. I think he has the chance to put up incredible numbers, despite the fact that you got Juju Smith-Schuster, Hollywood Brown, you got Xavier Worthy, you got a rookie draft pick. I mean, all these things put together, he has a chance to be special. Let's hope he's not suspended. Let's hope he can start the season with the team. and I want him just to stay healthy. But to me, he is the biggest key for this offense.
He was staying healthy until Mr. Prime ran into his knee.
Well,
but again,
that's prime time spot.
But he was staying healthy. I was so mad at Patrick Mahomes after that. I was
if he'd have thrown the ball deep to Worthy, who was open, that would not have happened.
Yeah, I was hot after that.
Kareem said, "Why the hell was Pat out there trying to tackle?" You see,
it wouldn't have made a difference in the Super Bowl. So,
as a wise man once said, "If my aunt had balls, she'd be my uncle." It's just stuff happens, man. Stuff happens. But no, I think the return of Rashee, Hollywood, and so forth, the Chiefs won't be in a mode where they're just cobbling together an offense and just trying to figure out how to just keep the ball away from the other team and just rely on the defense. And so a lot more explosive plays, a lot more, quick strike ability, a lot more consistency on offense, and a lot more pressure being put in dictating to the defense rather than the defense dictating to them. And that's kind of where, it worked all the way up until they played Philadelphia, when then they just couldn't handle that defensive line. But I think this is really going to be the key, is if he's out, forget about the numbers that he puts up. Just having those guys out there, I think, just makes it a much more threatening offense and will give plenty more opportunities to everybody that's out there.
Hey, real quick, Kareem said Mahomes' ass can't even do a quarterback sneak, but he think he's a linebacker.
But hey, whatever.
You got to give it to Coach Reed. I mean, he got hurt. He gets hurt one time doing a sneak. Never doing that again.
Oh my gosh, boy! It's like the Chiefs are so. It's critical. Do not overuse Mahomes, man. Hey, just go down, Mahomes. Don't even worry. Hey, next time, just go down. Leave it alone. Leave it alone, man.
What's your thoughts on the return of Rashee Rice, Dre? Before we close out.
My thoughts. Hold on. It's a setup.
I'm not saying nothing. Go ahead.
I know you, Bo. I know you. It's a setup. Hopefully he'll come out a full season. Hopefully come back and have a great season.
You guys are like Ren and Stippy.
I'm not saying nobody, but again, the return of Rashee Rice, man, I can't wait. And I hope the kid don't get suspended. I hope, they hold off on it because, in the past, we said on the show, the courts in Texas are taking a while to get it done. It's like return of the Mac. It's a return of the true XY receiver in NFL. Even though we say Jamar Chase, even though we say Justin Jefferson, they have nothing on number 4 when it's all said and done. So with that said, guys, we want to thank everybody for joining in this chat. If you want to go ahead and get some of these questions, Nick, out the way before we close out.
Well, let me see here. Demetrio says Pacheco Hunt 1-2 punch will be absolutely great, helping the passing game. I agree. Let's see questions.
They might be your number 3 and 4 running backs.
Yeah, they could be. Why was Pat out there doing tackles? Man. There you go. We got that one. Let's see. Kenny says you can't argue the results of the Tyreek Hill trade again.
Yeah.
Crystal Lee, these defenses are going to be in trouble, and all that speed we have, absolutely. Let's see. Do we actually have any other questions in here?
Wow, Weston outside of requesting that song again.
There you go. Weston Brewster. Pretty soon, if the Dolphins don't do something, they'll be singing "In the Arms of an Angel."
Oh, love it. Weston, my God, I was just going to give you props for bringing up everybody's favorite player. UDFA with the gold jacket, Jake Brenningstool. Let's go.
I like the
number 4.
Chemo said Rice for comeback player of the year. Now I can definitely see that.
I can see that.
I can see that one. Definitely.
That'd be a nice consolation prize.
And talk heavy. Not no damn triple crown though.
Yeah, no.
Give what Mango said. If you can get that.
Can you tell us who James Redmond is? I'd love to know. But she doesn't, so she's not. Yeah, I get that. But who's James Redmond?
Anonymous Mango tweet. Yes, if you're in a ball, she'd be your uncle, but she doesn't, so she's not.
So who's James Redmond? Am I the only one that doesn't know this?
Well, I don't know nothing about this, man.
I
Y'all
don't know who
can
James
go
Redmond is.
ahead.
I guess he's a former player, right?
Okay, so
I don't know. 2019 Mango. Come on, man.
Mango gave us a name, but who is it, Mango? Really? Who is it? Like, you gotta give us more.
Maxwell Harrison's Bills is injured. Yeah, we knew that. That happened early in OTAs.
Damn. Hold on. Wait. Maxwell Harrison, he's hurt?
Yep.
Damn. Well, Hense, that was your goal jacket guy.
Here it is. James Redmond is a supporter of Liverpool Football Club who made the quote famous when he was talking about one of their players. That's pretty great. That should be on an episode of Ted Lasso, in my opinion. We'll see.
So with that said, man, hey, thank you guys for joining in. We got a heck of a show. Do you know who I'll probably bring up Friday? But you want to know, we got Factor Cap coming up. I love that part of the show where when Lou brings Factor Cap. And also, I hope you guys have a heck of a Wednesday. Rewatch the show if you want to, reshare it and everything else. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button. And, don't listen to Dre's Top 10 because it don't even matter.
It made sense. I'm sorry. The McDuffie Kingdom.
Peace.